hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited that you're here and very excited to be filming today's video, which you can tell by the title is all about healthy and very delicious dinner ideas. Some of these are going to be meals that I've made in the past, but I just didn't feature in a video, but they were so delicious, so much so I really wanted to film them so that you can make them because they were just so good. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video and these recipes and all the goodness that I have to share. Okay, so this first meal, it's actually a soup that I made for dinner last night and I had one more serving left over, but because I am so nice, I decided to let my husband have the last serving for his dinner tonight. And you know what, I was actually really excited and happy at the fact that he wanted to enjoy the soup for dinner, because for me, whenever I cook for someone and they love the meal and actually ask for it again, that just warms my heart. But anyway, right now I am prepping some carnival squash. I just sliced it in half. I removed the seeds and then drizzled it with some olive oil and season it with some salt and black pepper. I'm gonna roast these in the oven along with some carrots and garlic. And while that's in the oven, I went ahead and began prepping the rest of my ingredients. So I diced some yellow onions, celery, and leeks just before adding all of that to the stove and cooking it up. Next, I added my seasonings and spices. So I used everything from some oregano, also went in with garlic and onion powder, smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, some cinnamon and nutmeg, and then some curry paste. While that was cooking down, I went ahead and rinse some red lentils. You could also do this with brown lentils or even just leave the lentils out altogether. I decided to add the lentils for some additional protein. Next, I went in with some broth and just brought this to a simmer on the stove so that the lentils can cook down. But once they were fully cooked, I removed it from the heat to let it cool. Now, while I was cooking this on the stove, I was keeping a close eye on the veggies that I had in the oven and realized that those carrots were cooking a lot faster than I expected them to. So I went ahead and removed them from the baking sheet and then just threw them in this lentil and veggie mixture that I had going on the stove. And then once the squash and garlic were done roasting in the oven, I went ahead and removed the skin of the garlic and then scooped out the flesh of the squash just before adding all of that along with everything I cooked on the stove to a blender with some coconut milk. Now, I love texture with my food, so I knew I had to add something else to the soup since we are blending it and making it more of a creamy type of soup. So I decided to go ahead and toast up some pumpkin seeds. And then I also wanted to add another layer of flavor to the soup. So I decided to put together a chimichurri sauce using carrot tops, which is a first for me. Normally I would use carrot tops in my pesto, but this time, as I mentioned, I decided to use it in my chimichurri and it worked really well. After I put that together, it was time to assemble. So I just added some of the soup to a bowl. I topped it with the carrot top chimichurri, some of those pumpkin seeds, and a drizzle more of coconut milk and enjoyed my dinner. All right, it is time for meal number 2 and I'm really excited for it because I actually made this meal to go on the side of my breakfast, but it can easily be enjoyed for dinner. So that's what I'm planning to have today. So I'm making a bean salad, and honestly, when I put it together for breakfast, I was like, ooh, what flavors would taste good? And I just kept building as I added more things to it. So the type of beans that I'm using, I'm doing this with butter beans, but I imagine that this will work just as well with like chickpeas or cannellini beans. I can honestly see cannellini beans being better in this than chickpeas because cannellini beans are a little bit more soft, and I just feel like the softness of the beans is what I enjoyed in the salad from the beans, if that makes sense. Then I also go in with some cucumbers, dino kale. This is my favorite type of kale, but honestly any type of kale will work. And then I also go in with a red onion, so you can either dice this or slice this. Okay, the other fresh ingredient I go in with is a lemon. I also use sauerkraut. I've talked about sauerkraut so much because I absolutely love it and it's really good for the digestive system. So if you like sauerkraut, you are going to love this salad. If you don't like sauerkraut, I would recommend just leave it out, or maybe even use like pickled red onions, just some sort of pickled veggie, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Sauerkraut is what I'm using though. And then if you remember the peppers from my dinner from last night, the little peppers I added with the carrot chimichurri kind of sauce, I'm gonna use more of those peppers. So in the event you want to make all these meals in this video, definitely go ahead and get some peppers because I know for a fact I'm going to be using these again. You don't have to get these exact ones, but they are just like spicy peppers in oil. These are the ones that I'm using. Then I also go in with some nutritional yeast. I add some salt, black pepper, and then to the kale, I massaged it in a little bit of garlic infused extra virgin olive oil. You do not have to do that by any means. I just want to make sure I tell you exactly what I used in case you want to make this and you want it to taste exactly like mine does. And then after having those toasted pumpkin seeds on my soup from last night, I didn't add this the first time, but I'm planning to toast up some pumpkin seeds, sprinkle it with a little bit of salt, and throw this bad boy together. This salad was so delicious, and I think I'm just gonna have it with some bread on the side, and that's gonna be my dinner. So let's go ahead and put this together. Add a little bit of salt. If you listen closely, you can hear the pumpkin seeds start to pop. That's how you know they are toasting. And then they're also starting to turn a little brown. Okay, here's the dino kale. We're gonna remove the stems and then just thinly slice. And then give this a massage. This is gonna help make the kale more tender and easier to digest, but it also improves the flavor and the overall taste of the kale too. Okay, now for the salad dressing. I'm gonna use the oil from the peppers. I have some nutritional yeast, the juice from half of a lemon, some black pepper, and salt. And I'm just gonna whisk this together. Okay, I'm gonna add the kale. Not sure how I didn't remember to press record, but I went ahead and added the beans, the red onions, cucumbers, and the peppers in here. Now I have some sauerkraut and add some of that in here too. And because I like nutritional yeast that much, I'm gonna add a little bit more. I have seriously been sleeping on pumpkin seeds. They are so good, especially toasted. If you've ever had my kale and white bean salad recipe, or even just the kale and white bean salad from Erewhon, this is like the kale and white bean salad, but even better because of all the extra flavors. This is so good. I'm also going to toast some bread to go with this too. And by the way, this is some olive oil brioche that I got from the Capitol Hill Farmers Market here in Seattle. So if you are in Seattle, that's where I got it from. It's from Seawolf Bakery, yeah. And then I'm gonna add some butter down on the bread before I toast it. I probably should have let this come to room temp first, but I'm gonna add some of this to my bowl. Okay, I just went ahead and cut up my toast. Here is my dinner. This is really good. So delicious. And I would say that this is a very nutrient dense salad, but you can always add even more protein to it if you want. I'm about to sit and enjoy this, but I hope you give this a try. So for dinner tonight, I have really been thinking about this coconut lime tofu that I made a couple weeks ago. I had posted about it over on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok or Substack, what are you doing? But anyway, so tonight for dinner, I wanted to make that again, but also show you how I make it because it is so delicious. I actually got the inspiration for this recipe from another creator, and I'll be sure to include her post and her recipe linked in the description. But I actually just freestyled it when I made it the first time, so I didn't necessarily follow her recipe, but I was inspired based off the video that she posted over on her social media accounts. And when I tell you that coconut lime tofu with some cilantro lime rice, listen, too good. Right now I'm just removing the leaves off of some baby broccoli that I have here, and then I'm gonna roast this in the oven. Oh, there's my timer. I have the timer set for some rice that I have cooking. It's actually just frozen rice that I'm cooking on the stove, and I am not ashamed to admit that I'm using some frozen pre-cooked rice that I got from the grocery store. Don't judge me. But anyway, I'm gonna finish removing these leaves, let these wash. I have some baking soda in here. Oh my gosh, these were so dirty, so I'm really glad that I'm letting it soak in this water. And does anybody else love baby broccoli or broccolini as much as I do? But for some reason, it tastes different than regular broccoli. Or maybe it's just a mind thing, I don't know. I love me some baby broccoli. And here I have some soy-free tofu that I just diced up and marinated with some coconut aminos and lime juice. So I'm gonna coat this in a little bit of cornstarch and pop it in the air fryer on 400 degrees for about 20 minutes or so. My husband is also having this exact same meal for dinner, but he's going to have his with chicken, and I'm doing the soy-free tofu. Normally I would do this in 2 separate bags, but I don't feel like making any more dishes, and I have been cooking quite a bit already today for content, so. Okay, got it coated really well. Now I'm about to add it to the air fryer. Right here, I just diced some red onions. Then I have 2 garlic cloves that I'm gonna mince. And then I also have some ginger that I'm gonna grate so that we can cook everything together. Okay, the tofu is all done and it looks really good and it's crispy. Just looks so gorgeous. So I'm gonna let this rest. Over there I have my rice, which is already done cooking, and we need to make it into a coconut cilantro lime rice. But first, let's start on this. I'm gonna go in with the red onions. And now the garlic and ginger. Now I'm gonna add in some coconut milk, adding some salt, pepper, smoked paprika, red pepper flakes, maple syrup, and lime juice. Now I'm just gonna stir this and bring it to a low simmer. Okay, and while I'm bringing that to a simmer, since my rice is already cooked, because again it was frozen, I'm just gonna add in a few splashes of coconut milk, some lime juice, cilantro, and salt and black pepper. Right over here, I'm gonna add the tofu. And the cornstarch that's coated on the tofu is also gonna help to thicken the sauce. Now for the cilantro, I'm just gonna mix that up. Over here, I'm keeping the broccoli pretty simple. I'm gonna go in with some salt, black pepper, and then just pop this in the oven until it is tender. See how that sauce has kind of thickened a bit? Some of you already know this, but my husband and I have 2 different diets, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because the meal that we're having tonight, honestly every meal that I've shown so far and will continue to share, are meals that if you do live in a household where people have different diets, maybe you're like me and you don't eat chicken or red meat, or you have family who doesn't eat chicken or red meat, this is a meal that you can make for the family to share. A way that I'm making this a meal that both my husband and I can enjoy is I'm planning to remove some of the tofu and the sauce. I'm gonna set that aside for myself, and then I'll leave him some sauce so that he can have it with his chicken. We'll both enjoy the rice and the broccoli, and that's typically how we do most of our meals. So I just want to share that in case you do live in a household where people may have different diets, or maybe you're hosting some friends and need to come up with some meal ideas or even just ways to prepare meals so that everybody can enjoy them, and you can kind of customize it based off of what people enjoy eating. I'm gonna wait for this broccoli to finish up and get to plating my dinner. Okay, now I have my broccoli. I really like broccoli, so I'm gonna do a lot. Now for the tofu, which looks so delicious. Squeeze a little bit of lime juice on top. This is dinner for tonight. This tofu is gorgeous, and because I've already had it, I know that it tastes good. This is my 2nd time making it, but I would definitely taste it on camera. I just got a little rice on here too. This is delicious, and it's just as good as it was the first time. I also have leftovers, and I'm gonna enjoy this for lunch tomorrow. So I have to be somewhere in about an hour and needed to put something quick together because I want to make sure I eat before I go so that I'm not hungry while I'm out. But I actually hosted a girls' night recently, and one of the items on the menu, because I had like a whole spread, I had a hummus platter, a pickled veggie platter, and the main dish that was on the menu was a spicy or chili crisp vodka pasta. And not only was it good, but it was also very quick to put together. So I'm making that again for dinner. As you saw, I just started on my pasta. That's actually protein pasta. And then right here, I'm cutting up a yellow onion, which I'm going to add to the pasta. And I have 2 garlic cloves that I'm gonna mince. And right here, I have some chili crisp. I'm gonna take some of the oil and cook up the onions and garlic. And I am gonna add a little bit of the chili crisp in there as well. And I want some of these little crispy bits that you see here on the skillet because we're gonna clean that off with a splash of vodka. Now for some almond milk. And then I'm also gonna go in with some dairy-free cream cheese just to help thicken this up. And then in here I have some of the pasta water from the pasta. I'm also gonna go in with some nutritional yeast and a little bit more dairy-free milk. Now for some salt and black pepper to taste. Now for the pasta. Okay, I also need a little something green in here, so I'm just gonna throw in some spinach. All right, let's plate it up. Now I'm gonna add some grated vegan Parmesan and then a little black pepper. All right, and here is dinner. I know it's gonna be good because it was good the last time I made it. Yeah, definitely spicy, but it's really good. Okay, this next meal I'm really excited for. I made something similar maybe about a week ago and it was really, really good. I have these red potatoes that I got in my farmer's market delivery. So what I'm planning to do is to roast these potatoes in the air fryer or air fry them. Then I'm gonna take remember the carrot top chimichurri kind of sauce that I put together? I'm thinking of combining this with a little bit of dairy-free sour cream. That's gonna be my sauce on these potatoes. And then I'm also gonna go in with, I have some Italian sausage. This is the brand. I really like this brand because the ingredients on their plant-based meats are very, very simple. This is honestly one of my preferred plant-based meats because of the ingredients and the nutrition facts as well. But yes, I'm gonna cook the Italian sausage up and then I'm also going to have some kale right here. This is so heavy because it's like so much water in here. I was giving it an ice bath to kind of crisp it up some more. I'm just gonna thinly slice this and that's gonna be it. So a pretty simple meal, but it should have a ton of flavor and honestly be really, really good. Just added the potatoes in here. I'm gonna drizzle them with some olive oil, give them a good rub down. Now I have some salt, black pepper, and garlic powder. The little bit I have left. And now I air fry them. Okay, here I have a white onion. I'm just gonna thinly slice this. I'm just gonna set those aside. Now I'm gonna add in the plant-based Italian sausage crumbles. Then I'm gonna season those with just some salt, black pepper, and a little bit of garlic and onion powder. I have the little carrot chimichurri here. So we're about to just take this. I have some dairy-free sour cream right here. This is the brand Hiiiii. We'll take about that much and add it in here. This is probably actually gonna be really good, especially because of the peppers. The potatoes are all done in the air fryer. Added some butter in there. Okay, so I also have that kale that I massaged, so I'm gonna add that down. Gonna add those onions, or at least some of the onions. Now for some of the plant-based grounds. Now I'm gonna drizzle some of the sauce on there. Okay, I'm not done. I think I'm gonna add some sauerkraut on here. I think it just needs something a little pickly. Here is the baked potato. I honestly think I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of honey on here. Don't judge, don't judge. Okay, now I'm just adding stuff, but I'm gonna add a few of those peppers too. I've also already come to terms with the fact that I won't be able to eat all this, so I definitely have some left over, which I can just eat for lunch tomorrow. Okay, here we go. It looks really, really good. I'm gonna give this a taste test, get all up in there. Adding the honey, best idea. This is really delicious. And the onions in there. I love a good sauteed onion. So delicious. But I'm about to sit and finish enjoying my meal. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you being here. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And please leave me a comment letting me know which meal you are planning to try. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it inspiring. And you'll be able to find the link to all the recipes I shared in this video in the description box. It'll also be on my Substack. So if you are not subscribed to my Substack, please be sure to do so. That's where you'll be able to find all of my recipes, whether it be previous recipes or future recipes. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I sincerely appreciate you and I will see you in the next video.